Hi everyone, my name is Melissa Null and I'm one of the nutrition doctors for Body 20 if you haven't met me before. And I hope you're all doing well and that you're still healthy and keeping fit even in this lockdown period. Today I just actually want to chat to you about having a nutritious and healthy diet even on a budget. I know that's one of the biggest concerns or one of the biggest problems that we do face now and even going into the months ahead is most of us will be on a tight budget as this lockdown has really caused a lot of economic issues for most people. And one of the biggest biggest complaints that we get when we're looking at a healthy diet is that most people think that a healthy diet needs to be expensive. Now, don't get me wrong, eating healthy can be very expensive if you tend to rely on specific ingredients that you can only find in health food stores, something like superfoods, or if you really only rely on supplements and really those over the top different types of ingredients. And really, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with those ingredients, but you can definitely have a full, balanced and healthy diet even with normal foods and normal ingredients you can find in a supermarket, for example. And so that's one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about today is just how can we keep healthy on a budget, and it's really possible. So the first thing that I would recommend is planning, and that's one of the biggest problems that we get is that most people don't plan. You don't plan your diet or your menu for the week, which then leads to fast foods or convenience foods buying when we don't have time. I know it's different now because we're not allowed to go out as much, so we do tend to plan a bit better, which is also kind of a good thing. But if we think about going back into work and getting back into the swing of things when this lockdown is over, we need to think about planning ahead, planning for the week or the month ahead so that we can buy food specifically for that menu plan that we've developed. So, I mean, you definitely have access to all the eating plans on the Nutrition Doctor portal, and we actually are in the process of updating them a bit. So please feel free to head on over to the Nutrition Doctor website and log in and access the eating plans, which will definitely help you. I mean, it's a menu, so you can draw up a grocery list from there and buy specifically according to the grocery list. So if you plan well and really, plan your meals for the week and look at your schedule for the week and see how you can use ingredients optimally, that's really going to help save the budget a lot. The other thing is healthy eating isn't actually more expensive because you tend to eat less. So a lot of people do overeat, and that's really expensive. I mean, it's more food that you have to buy. So if you think about it in that way, you might save a bit of money. And then, cheaper ingredients aren't necessarily less effective or less nutritious. If you think about things like canned foods, especially something like canned beans, like chickpeas or lentils or baked beans even, or kidney beans and so forth, they're actually very, very nutritious. They give you lean protein and also a carbohydrate source. They're high in fiber and they're also high in a lot of nutrients. So, I mean, that's a great option to add to your meals. I mean, if you're not used to adding beans to your meals, try to incorporate them slowly but surely. Also, that's a really important thing if you're not used to beans, because they are high in fiber. They might cause gas and flatulence, which is one of the biggest issues that most people have with beans and why they avoid them. But that can be completely avoided if you really gradually increase them into your diet. So typically when you're making spaghetti bolognese with mince, you can just add kidney beans to that so that you also can stretch the mince a bit and also add some extra fiber into the meal and get used to the taste and the texture and the fiber of the beans. And typically adding lentils to rice, for example, or cooking curry, adding some butter beans into that. So there's easy ways that you can incorporate beans into your diet. Another canned food that's really cheap and very nutritious is tuna, of course, or pilchards. And I know a lot of people stay away from that, but I mean, it's really still very nutritious and has a lot of good fats, and it's still safe to consume. And then a lot of people are also staying away from frozen vegetables, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Frozen vegetables and even frozen fruit can be actually more healthy than your fresh produce. The reason for that is when they are frozen, actually, once they're picked from the farm, they're actually frozen directly from there. So typically there's a lot of school of thought that's saying that frozen goods actually have a higher nutritional composition than fresh fruits. So it really it goes around your taste preference, But incorporating both fresh and frozen produce is definitely going to help the budget and also help you waste less, and also will help in this time of lockdown when you have some frozen veggies and fruits available. And also one thing with the fruits as well is, even if you buy fresh fruits and you see that you're not getting through all the fruits that you've bought, because that can happen, and then typically we don't buy fruits anymore because you waste, is to freeze them. Fruits freeze really well. If you're taking a banana, slice it up a bit, freeze it in a flat pan so that it's not sticking to each other, and then using it in a smoothie, for example, or freezing your berries. It's a great thing to put onto your oats in the morning, for example, or having in a smoothie again with the banana. So those are typically things you can do to really up the nutrition in your diet without breaking the bank. So really stick to the ingredients that we know, stick to a balance, trying to have the proteins, carbohydrates and fats in your plate at every single meal. And it really doesn't need to be of extreme interesting sources. It could be really the plain things that we can find in the grocery store. So that's it from me for today. Keep healthy, stay safe, and we'll chat soon.